Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on Dungeons and Patterns. It's a role playing game originally for live action, but we've been translating it to Elm so we can run it on a website. And we're to the point we've just finished introducing a second puzzle type. The main puzzle type is you come into a room, there's a description, you see some actions you take them and see what happens, and then you guess the puzzle. The second one we added is more you have a room and there are three walls with things written on them, and you have to guess which pattern applies to each of the three walls. We have a third one, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about it, but my ideal is it's some sort of drag and drop, either vertical or horizontal. We may take a simpler way to start with. We did some spiking, and it was kind of didn't come to any good approaches. So we'll see. But today we're going to focus on consolidating and cleanup. Just I'd noticed miscellaneous refactorings we ought to be doing, and I just kind of want to sweep across the whole thing and see what we can do. All right, let's get to our IDE. Okay, so I ran tests. All the tests are green. We can run the app. Yep. Okay, so here's a picture, here's some description, and you've got some actions you can do. And when you do it, something happens or not. And you guess the pattern. Oh, it sounds like prototype. Okay. And when you do that, you may have hidden doors that become visible. And these ones with the three keyholes, if you solve enough puzzles, you can open the door to the next level down. All right. And otherwise you just wander around trying things out. Here's the new room we talked about. This sounds like visitor. This sounds like decorator. This sounds like chain of responsibility. Yeah, so all three are green, and we can go on to another room. Okay, now let's see if we can go back enough. I happen to know this one is proxy. Go back here, and we have to solve 5 rooms, I guess. That 3 should be a 5. This one is composite. Let's find one more. I don't know. You got some stuff going on in the rooms. Okay. This one is what would that be? I would have said facade. What can you do? Okay. Yeah, that certainly should be facade. Let's check our dungeon description. Prototype, no. Let's do facade. Okay. At any rate, you get the idea. So the goal, let's see, I went through and I found some things that I don't like. One is we had the notion of the model, and we went back and forth and had a more complex model, and we simplified it and started calling it game or my game, and we had a game already. So I'm trying to get the usages of my game out of here, and that's an easy one. So let's start there. Okay, so today basically refactor, rename my game to model. Well, let's find all the my games in here. Okay. Here's one. All right, so model. And we get some in view. Well, let's see some here. Now, this isn't a full-featured refactoring tool, but it definitely has rename. Always a big help. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. Did we get everything? Yeah. All right. So we'll save. All runs. Let's go ahead and check in. And if you recall, this takes the Chiron off the bottom of the screen there and pushes with that as our message. All right, so rename game to model is done. Okay, explicit imports. This is an Elm thing. And I don't know, there's a conversation every team that does Java or whatever seems to have too. Like, hey, how are we going to manage imports? Well, the exports, we're explicitly exporting the stuff that we want public. And our imports, well, in this case, we are explicitly naming the stuff that gets imported. Okay, so let's kind of start on the bottom. Okay, I'm just gonna export dialog puzzle for a minute here. Let's see who complains. I think all this stuff is needed. Has dialog is never used. Well, it's not used in here, I'll grant you. How did that go? Okay. Yeah, we don't expose pattern name. Well, that's a good thing to expose. Endpoint dialog trigger and dialog response. Well, let's just keep them alphabetical. Okay. I cannot find has dialog. Okay, so that covers that one. Now room. Well, what are we saying here? Room exposes everything. Well, let's just expose room. I'm cutting all the way back, so we can explicitly see what's got to be done. Okay. Unknown room. Room.answer, room.has dialog. Room.answers. Okay. Has way down. Has dialog puzzle. Now there was some sort of automatic thing that would do that, but I don't know what that is. Okay, we still got has answers puzzle. Dialogue. Has dialogue puzzle. Has answers. Size answers puzzle. Oh yeah, dialogue. Okay, that's room. Main. Well. Okay. View. Okay, so it looks like we've already done that there. Game. This one's unused. Message. Okay, let's expose message itself. Should get some complaints. Action. Oh, can I say dot dot here? Answer's all correct. Is that in here? Yes. I think I saw, S string. It's a lot of them. Update. A lot of update calls. Seems to be the bulk of things. And we're good. Message and model. Again, looks like it's been exposing things correctly. Okay, so explicit imports. Well, this is, we've really dealt with the export side. Okay, so explicit exports. Let's check that in. Okay, move this to done. And let's deal with the imports. Okay, so this one looks good. And there's somewhere I don't mind a little bit. Well, like the HTML one, it looks like the standard kind of way of doing that is don't bother, just import them because you're going to use a bunch of them and it's just not worth the trouble. But here you go. That model exposing nothing. Let's just expose model and see what breaks. Okay, judge pattern answer. Okay, we moved that one before. Don't care for that formatting. I don't know if it'll let me. No. What do we got? Current room is solved. Looks like a bunch of them. You'd think there'd be quite a few. Guess that's it. Okay. Well, it definitely makes it more explicit. Oh. Oh, I don't need it. What? I guess I didn't expose it. That seems odd to me. That should have been caught. Hey, I don't need to do it here because I've been explicit here, which is also kind of a preferable thing. Okay. That's all explicit. This has no imports. Okay, so HTML. Yeah, I think I can live with that. All right. And explicit imports. Okay. Now we're getting down to where I don't quite know what I want to do. Okay, so I said long methods, but let's see what's going on here. Let's start down here because I don't think there's any methods to speak of. Certainly no long methods. Okay, a few type definitions. Pretty straightforward. That looks... wonder who's using that. Okay, room.answers. Well, I think I can do this. Yeah. Okay, so a room, if all you do is call the argument, then there's no kind of point to it. Let's see if we substitute answers puzzle here. No. Okay. View, let's take game before view. Do we need make? There's one test that uses it. And the question to me is, well, what's that test doing, and could it just do this? Starting room, final page. It's missing a couple of dictionaries from lists. All right, game test. Line 104, 136. Game can read from JSON. Well, let's try game room, and this is dict from list of the list. I feel like there's an extra. Oh, that should be that. Wait a minute. Okay. I've got a list. Okay, so I want to say dict dot from list. I'm going to find the end of my list and put some parentheses. Third argument. Starting room, final room. Starting room, final page. Min solutions, translation is a dict from list of the list. And finally, the map is a dictionary from room name to room. So this is also dict from list. And where's that end? Dictionary from room name to room. Was that there? Required list room name room. Oh, it's not make anymore. Okay, well, if nothing else, that's too long to read on one line. I think it's I think it's okay that it creates a game here because it's got to read all this stuff. Same thing here. Let's format first. Okay, and we'll take the game.make off, and this becomes dictionary.fromList with a closing parend, and dictionary.fromList with a closed parend. Okay. And let's see what's going on here. Go to, and we'll do game.make. JS, why are you giving me that? Let's do a file mask of Elm. Well, there's game with, I think, no callers now. Yeah, no callers. Okay. And we probably exported it. Okay. So what we did was really eliminate dead code. Well, inline game.make and eliminate dead code. Okay. And notice the refactoring. I'm trying to go green to green. I'll use the syntax errors on the way to remind me everywhere to change. But in general, I'm trying to get to green and then checking in. All right, so to do, let's take this to the bottom section, next section. Okay. Now we were looking at game. Okay. So these, maybe with defaults, they're a little annoying. Lookup gets me the unknown room if it's not in there. So the data structure we bring in from the dungeon JSON is it lists rooms you can go to and stuff like that, and it's conceivable there's a mistake in it, like somebody deleted a room and didn't realize they had other rooms pointing to it, say, that could make a lookup fail. So I don't think that's super off. We use this one as a kind of shortcut to get things. All answers. Yeah, that's true enough. Okay, I don't think those are off, and that's okay. All right, let's look at message. I think we'll go game message model view. This is long, and I don't know the answer. What? I don't think I need different names for these. Apparently I do. Okay, so this is the function defined by the Elm architecture that sort of gives this model view controller kind of thing a pattern that you have. Update takes the message and the old model, and it produces the new model and an optional command. Lots of times we just do command.none. In matter of fact, most times we do command none. The only, I was going to say the only exception is here, but even that does command none. This does load URL. Okay. Let's see what that does. Oops. Load URL. Okay. It's a command. So that's getting into the low level stuff. But okay, so when the game is over, load the URL we point to. Okay, so that's taking you to a new page after you finish the game. All right, and then I thought we used the model. Oh, we use this because the initial load needs it. Okay, so but after you've done the initial load, you don't need to do any more commands. So you see here we got the load game. That's the initial command that comes in with the result of the game decoder. So it attempts to parse the URL, and either it succeeds or fails. If it succeeds, it's going to go ahead and load the game. If it fails, it pops out the unknown room and a default thing that kind of goes nowhere. And yeah, just starting points. Okay. All right, this one you can see the difference between going to a new room and changing the level. So normally when you finish a room, you keep track of which rooms have been visited. You do that when you change levels, but we start with a set of empty, the solved. You haven't solved any on the new level yet. Okay. And that all's okay. Now that's a long method. That's a moderately long method. That's long, but it's very kind of flat. It's just getting different kind of error messages out in the case of a bad bad JSON or something like that. All right, now let's see what we can do here. Wow. Okay. So the number of answers, game, get the answer puzzle. So get all the answers. Default to empty if there's none. And get the list length. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'd call get, can give us a maybe, but I don't know, that should almost, oops. I feel like that should never give us really a maybe. Room goes to A. So we got a function that goes from a room to something. We look it up, and then we call the given function on it. So we find the room name in the game, and then call the function on that. Well, the function is answers puzzle, and answers puzzle is a maybe. Let's look and see if there's something. I'd really like to make a maybe length or something. Well, I don't know what maybe can do. Yeah, I don't really see anything. Okay, so we want the number of answers. Well, where are we getting that from? We need the model. We need the current room and the current game. And game is the thing we're asking. All right, what is update guesses? Okay, so we're sort of forcing an initial set of guesses if there is none. So we're gonna get the multi-guess stuff out of there for the current room, and if we have the index, we're gonna set the guess. Okay, well, something's funny. All right, there's a thing going on between arrays and lists here. Okay, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. I don't think that's totally wrong. Let's see what's in multi-guesses. A room to array of pattern names. I don't know why should that be a list. Okay. Okay, so what are we doing? Well, we're basically taking the current multi-guess and setting one of them to the new guess. Okay, so they've made a guess. Something's funny to me. Let's look at model. Guesses, multi-guesses. For each room, we have an array of patterns. Okay. I guess that starts empty. Default model multi-guesses is empty list. All right, so that's why we have to do that little bit of stuff here. That's probably okay. All right, now this thing. We get the answers. Whoops. We get the answers from the current game. If there are no answers, so it's a maybe. All right, let's see room.answers. Well, is a maybe list. I want to fold the nothing and the else clause together somehow. All right, so what I'm saying is you've given me well, what we're doing is we're creating a set of the current room because we want to union it in. Okay. And that's okay. I mean, it keeps us from a dealing with a maybe at some point. Let's see what set offers. If there's something else that might help. Insert. Well, the problem is I can't just insert because I don't have a comparable item. I have a maybe item. So let's see if there's anything on maybe again. With default map. So I got maybe list of pairs, and if the answers are all correct, we add the current room. Otherwise set.empty. Well, I don't know. It's a little... Yeah, it's just what I don't know about. All right, well, let's take a different way. So this one, like, I could imagine a game knowing how many answers. Well, I don't know. Like, how many answers in the multi-puzzle in the current room? I mean, answers puzzle is on room. Which game knows? And then the current room. So game.get would have to give me, I would have to give it the current room. Well, let's extract that. See if we can do that here. I don't know what'll happen. Well, it's not going to do it for me. Okay. What do we got? Well, we have what's called answers puzzle length, and it's going to take a room name and a game, and it's going to produce an int. Okay. I'll just get that compiling for a second here. Okay, so if you pass in the current room and you pass in the game, I will give you the length. Okay, that seems doable. Okay, so let's say the answer to that is well, answers puzzle is fine. This is just room, and this one's just game. Okay, so I believe I could call this with answers puzzle length model.current room model.game, and that should be the right answer. Okay. Save that. See our terminal. What do you say? Okay, good. All right. Well, we're due for a break, so we'll stop there. But when we come back, what I want to notice is, well, I'm going to take advantage of is this. I mean, there's nothing about the message that goes into this answers puzzle length. So I can move this over to game or room. In this case, I want to move it to game. So we'll move it there when we get back. All right. So 2-minute break. Thanks. Hi, welcome back. All right, let's move this thing over. So we got answers to puzzle length. We'll make a copy over in game. All answers, all dialogue answers, kind of all multi-answers. Let's put it near there. Okay. This is just get. All right, and answers puzzle length should be an export. Okay. All right, so that looks like it's compiling anyway. Answers puzzle length not yet used. All right, let's switch. Well, I think I'll just say game.answers puzzle length. Model current room, game room. Okay, we don't need this comment anymore. Okay. And this is no longer called. All right. So, well, this isn't just long with it. I guess we can be more specific. What we did was pulled out answers puzzle length and moved it to game. Cool. All right, let's move that down. 27. A lot of small little tasks today. Whoops. Let's put on this one. Okay. All right, so are the answers all correct for this? Where's game? Answer puzzle length. Okay, so for this room in this game, how many answers are there? That seems like a fair question. All right, what answer's all correct? Yeah, we've got the list and the array. There's a little bit of a clash. We basically convert them into tuples and then ask, are the tuples all the same? Map2 is kind of a zip. It takes two lists and smashes them together, one first with first, second with second, and so on. Okay. Now, how's this making better sense? All right. So the dictionary, the current room, I don't know. That's okay. The question marks, Okay. This room, if solved. Well, again, okay, it's taking room.answers, which that's something game can know. It knows rooms and the current room and the game, and it's answering the question basically, are these things all correct? And if they are, then we can return a set of all the correct answers. With this current room. All right, so this thing, answers all correct. Yeah, that's only called in the one place. All right, so let's do the same thing. Let's extract method. So I'm gonna say this is it's really the room if it's correct. Correct multi-answer rooms of model.current room, model.game. Okay, and then we're going to copy this out. It's taking a room. Oops. Room name, a game, and it's producing a set of room names. Okay. I'll paste this. Well, we need a header. Correct. Of room and game equals. This is room. Oh. Game. Room. Update guesses. Updated guesses is an array of pattern name. Well, let's add it in. Array of pattern name. It's not as fun this way. Guesses. Guesses. Okay, second argument is now array of pattern names. Which was our updated guesses. Okay, should all pass. Make sure it really ran it. Yes, okay. All right. Is it better in what sense? Okay, well, one thing is, I mean, all this stuff is lower level than message. So I'm going to focus on game. You gave me the room, the guest is in the game. I give you back that. Okay, let's try moving this over. We'll copy it to game. Go to just .get, just get, import this. Okay. Nobody's using it yet. Let's switch to using the game one. And this is unused. Good. Take that out. Now this should be unused. It's not. Who's using it? Oh, some tests. Let's comment them out. I'm going to move these tests over to game. Okay. Now these are unused. All right. We'll save. We'll see if everybody ran. No. Game.correct mostly answers rooms variable. Module does not expose it. Oh. Answers all correct. Message.elm, you're trying to expose answers correct. Okay, we took that out. Good. Okay, let's clean up. And I don't have the automatic support, so I'm being this little stepwise careful on these. All right, that's fine. Now let's get to the test, message test. And we commented out these. Let's make them part of game test. Game test. Okay. I cannot find an array variable. All right. Yeah, you can see my resistance of having to have lists and arrays. I don't know. It's resistance, but I'm not kind of quite willing to do anything about it. All right. So we moved. What do we move? Answers all correct and correct and multi-answer rooms. Oops. Move that to game. Okay. And tests. Okay. Let's move this down. Now, what are we feeling about this still? Well, I think it's an improvement. Yeah, I think it's an improvement. Now, okay, this is something, oh, it's so similar to what we just did, isn't it? Excuse me. So we did room.answer. Well, it's only similar at some level. This was our multi-answer and do all the multi-answer stuff. I guess we could probably do the same kind of thing. I mean, I think the same argument is going to apply, that this function is a lot like the last one. Correct multi-answer rooms. This is correct dialogue rooms. And we need to give it the current room, the guest answer, and the game. So the room, the answer, the guess, and the game is that. And its type it goes from a room name to a string to a game, and it produces a set of room name. That part's similar. Okay. Now, correct dialogue rooms. This I changed to answer. Sorry, to guess. Current room is just room. That's room, and that's game. Okay, that should work. Okay, let's get this name in. That's an import from game. Well, again, we can just say explicitly say it. Game.correctDialogRooms. Let's pull this and take a little bigger step since we're doing something we just did. All answers, all dialogue answers probably goes here. This is just get. Good. And we need to publish it. All right. All right. I think this is a little better. Yeah, it's a little complicated, but it is a little complicated. Okay. But what we did was we pulled correct dialogue rooms. correct dialog rooms and mode to game. Good. Okay, and then model. Okay. If you remember our big path, it was to go all the way up through to model and then over to view. Now this one, yeah, we're doing well. The one thing that's funny to me, this is probably supposed to be the last argument. Maybe string goes to model, and that's really just the this convention that currying and stuff tends to work out better if you can just have the main data structure for something on the as the last argument. Now there's some callers that should be complaining because I just took them from a first argument to a last. Okay, somebody should care. Yeah. Okay, view. Right. Judge pattern answer. Model should go at the end. It's just the once. Kind of got 3 messages for it. Okay, let's try again. Okay. So we rearrange this judge pattern answer. And I don't know, it's one of these things. It's kind of UI and kind of not. I mean, it's producing the actual string that corresponds to an answer, right or wrong. I guess I'll let that be. Has visible exits. Has any exits? Has any hidden exits where the room is solved? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Seems all right. All right, let's get to view. And I just don't know. Start at the top. Okay. So 2 options. Lists of strings turns it into HTML messages. This one, the only one that's funny to me is, well, these are all alike, but they take a sort of predicate, should I show this? And then they take a method or a function that calls on the model. Okay, so you can see here we test the predicate, which maybe is a better name for this thing. Okay, and if the model meets the predicate, then it calls the HTML function, acting and so on. Now, if I made this one do the same thing, I guess I could pass a pair of stuff, and I don't know. Is that worth it? Now, I do think, because here's again, we got model last, I can treat these things as functions of them. I don't know, maybe not. Predicate of model. Let's take it out and see what it thinks. I don't think that's going to work. No. Okay. All right. I guess that's okay. And this is not bad. To make an image, you get the current room's image, and you write it out, followed by a text description. One thing I noticed. Let's start here. Well, that's not bad. I was thinking the text was a little close to the bottom of the picture, but I'm not finding that to be the case. This one is. Maybe I should be doing that in the picture. I don't know. Or maybe the picture should be as tight as possible. Maybe I just want a little space after the image. Okay, that's not this problem. All right, acting. Get the dialogues, get the default action, get the triggers and the action, and then display them all. None of these get action response. Yeah. Probably not an issue. Right answer, default answer. That's the dialogue. Okay. Judge pattern answer. Okay. Make multi-answer model. Yeah, more or less okay. Doors. Yeah, I don't see anything I want to do extra there. I don't know. Somebody could. I think we'll let this cover that. All right. Okay, well, add variants for games and mini puzzles. We don't really see model anymore. Okay, what do we want to do? Well, I guess I want to tackle this third puzzle type. Okay, so let's see. Do I have an example? Let's go to our project. I can probably find it in the images faster than anything. Okay, this is one. All right. So you're given this, you're walking through and you see this portcullis, and there's a bunch of arrows, and they've got some sort of label on them. In reality, these arrows, it's supposed to be it's supposed to remind you of a system diagram. I don't know, that may be a stretch, but you're going to arrange them in a certain way. And if you recall the observer pattern, like an object changes, it notifies its observers. Each observer does its response, and there's sort of a series of steps for it. So what I want to do is show you this picture, and then I want to show you the diagram that you're supposed to arrange the arrows on. And ideally, you would drag and drop them up and down. I'm willing to compromise on that for now. I'd like to come back to the drag and drop, but I don't. I want to move forward faster. I want to at least get some solution out there. And the drag and drop is kind of a refinement. It also looks like a pain in the butt. So I just don't know if it's worth my time. Um, Honestly, I'd kind of like to wrap this thing up by the end of the year. And if that takes, 3 or 4 episodes, that's kind of like too much. I may get an extra episode in or somewhere along the way. I'm off this coming week, but um, yeah, I just don't know. So anyway, that's one. The other one is this one. You've got this light coming into a room shining on a candle. And if you arrange the filters kind of one, two, three stacked in front of it in a certain order, different things happen. And I may have to be explicit. I don't know if that's going to be good. Well, if you have this certain filter first and the certain filter last, it's like the different orders matter and which filters you have matters. And if you have a certain combination, I want to say one thing, and another combination, I want to say another thing. And I could do the same kind of thing here, portcullis, if I guess if I could give you some hints along the way. But I don't know. That's messy. Messy. I don't know. So, all right, what's the deal with this one? Why is it? It really is right to the bottom. And I probably chopped that off when I was formatting things. Okay. So anyway, the new thing for this is I want to show the main picture and then have something that keeps track of the order of things. And if they're wrong, it gives some message. And if they're right, you get credit for solving the puzzle. And you should be able to tell me what order, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My compromise is you tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning arrow 1 first, arrow 2 second, and so on. And if you tell me a different order, it's, we judge it. All right. So I think we'll pick up there next. Like many times before here, I guess we're adding to room. Okay, so I'm inventing some sort of new puzzle that we're going to describe in the dungeon. And I don't know what that description looks like. So we're going to have to work out something there. And then once we've figured out what we want, we're going to have to work on this thing at the bottom here to actually decode the room. Okay. And once that's done, then we have to work in some semantics somewhere for what does it mean to, well, in our case, I'm going to say like give an ordering, what, what, what order do you want things? And how do you respond to it when it comes in? So it's got several parts to it. All right. So, the stuff going on. So we need to add arrangement to room. We need to say like what's the right answer and messages for wrong answers. We need to read new, well, yeah, read JSON for new puzzle type, add support in the, let's just say make the model work with arrangement puzzles. Oh, also need to know whether it's horizontal or vertical. And we need to display the new room, well, the new puzzle type. Okay. All right, well, we're due for another break. So let's take a break, 2 or 3 minutes. We'll come back and we'll start, well, we'll figure out what we want in room and then get that thing going. All right, thanks for joining me. See you in a couple of minutes. Hi, welcome back. All right, so we need to figure out what do we want out of an arrangement puzzle and what does it get when it's there. All right. And I don't know, a bigger question is like, how am I modeling this? I've got 3 puzzle types. Rather than kind of put them behind one choice of 3 puzzle types, I've just made them all accessible. And if I were doing 10 puzzle types, this would be a little ridiculous. And maybe 3, it's already becoming ridiculous. But that's where we're going to start. So let's look at our to-do just so we have somewhere to write. Okay, and the game, let's see. Where did I put that? We're here in Twitch. DNP. Okay. I thought I had the dungeon guide out here somewhere. I'm not seeing it. Okay. Well, I'll make it up. Okay. So I don't have a good name, but arrangement puzzle. And we need to create a list of items, either horizontal or vertical. We need some sort of text box with entries for numbers to tell the order. Okay, and let me grab a book. Go back to design patterns. Let's go look up the observer. 293. All right. So I don't know how visible that's going to be. Is that the right page? No. Yes. This one. Okay. So you can see there's sort of little conversational snippets for the diagram on this thing. Okay. And so it's well, what do we have? So this is observer. We have a call to set state to the subject, and then it calls notify. Well, let's say one observer one calls set state. Subject calls notify on itself. Subject calls update on observer 1. Observer 1 calls get state on subject. And then subject calls update. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. Okay, and ideally you would place these in, this order. So I'm going to number them 1, 2. Okay. That's the order we want. Now, I don't know how we want to handle well, I mean, one way to do it would just be have an error message and a success message. And the idea is if the order is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then it gets the error message. Otherwise, it's a success message. All right, now let's take the decorator. Where's the dungeon? Okay. Beam of light. Okay. There's 3 lenses, a red, a green, and a clear. And the idea is the clear one focuses and the red and green filter the light. And I think you're supposed to play with it and see what happens. Okay. But if you focus red light, the candle gets lit. Okay. And so this one, it's almost like what gets used. Okay, so there's a red lens, a green lens, and a focusing lens. And really this would be lovely if this one's horizontal and the example is decorator. Okay, red, green, and focusing. All right, and if you use I guess I want a success is red plus focusing. I don't think I care about the order. And failure, so maybe I'll write it like this, kind of set notation. Do I care about the order? Fail is, oh boy, anything else, but this is why it gets too complicated. So I would like the message to say, if you use the red lens, well, if you use the red lens, we're going to see red light. If you use the red and green, I don't know what you get for red and green. Red and green make, yeah, brownish. And we're talking about lights. Yeah. Red, blue, and green. Red and green make yellow. And then they're going to show us cyan instead of red. Yeah. Well, red and green light's supposed to make yellow. I guess this is Fantasyland. We can make it do whatever we want, right? Right. So, okay. So this thing. All right. The candle lights puzzle is solved. Anything else is a failure, but I want messages. So if red not green, yellow, no, red not green, red, green not red, green, red and green, yellow, and then focused or not. And I guess you could have none, in which case it's going to be white. Okay. How can I express that? I mean, you see a, could say, focused beam of whatever light. Now the problem is, well, maybe it's an opportunity, whatever you want to say, but I could define the combinations. I mean, it's right. It's really bits, red, green, focused, and this is nothing. You just see a beam of white light, focusing only. I guess I should say narrow beam. This is a beam of green. 110 red plus green. Okay, so in this case, I'm saying every combination, but that's a pain for 3, but it's really a pain for 6. What I could do... I'm not dealing with the order of things either. Oh. Maybe these are 2 different puzzles. I mean, I don't know. They're just so different. All right, let's try and be explicit up here. I guess success message is all in order. Error message is not all in order. All right, I don't need to get specific. It might be nice if it counted how many were in order. So I want to do it like that, or do I want to somehow say they're in order? You know, if I had 1, 4, 6, I'd say those 3 were in order. Maybe it's like bulls and cows or whatever, that like mastermind. You get so many right and so many in the right position. Maybe that's the way to go. Okay. How many right item in right position? That would be helpful. Maybe it's just how many in the right position. So I'd say you have 4 out of 6 in the right position. Yeah, would that help here? Well, this one is more fun, right? It's like I want to say each one causes its own specific thing. Now, do I care if they put the red in the focus or the focus in the red? I don't think it really matters. If I pump white, focused light through red, I get focused red. If I focus a red broad beam, I get a red narrow beam. Yeah. I mean, I can say beam, narrow beam. And if they grab the red first, right, they've sort of not gotten to try anything. That's kind of too bad. I feel like I need each contribution, but notice the narrow is really the one bit on the end, right? So if it contains, I kind of am saying if it contains focus, you say narrow beam, else beam. And then the colors really do matter. All right. Well, I don't think it's too bad if I just say, I have to say a set. These are two different puzzles. This one's kind of an ordering puzzle. And this one's kind of a combination puzzle. All right, so here I am saying I'm going to have 4 puzzle types now. I really love to fold these together. Okay, but this one, I can give them... I mean, I give them a scrambled set. Okay, so I've got to give them what? I need a list of items. And then I need an answer, which is a permutation of 1 to n. And I need a success and error messages. Is that enough information? Okay, so you give me a list and I would scramble them. I would call this one 1 and this one 3 and this 5, 2, 4, whatever. That's the bad order. I give you the answer, which is the good order. And I give you messages. Okay, so they put some stuff up and they have a permutation. The answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they've put 3, 5, 2, 4, 1, 6 or something. And we say, okay, well, it looks like you got the the last one right. Okay, so you have one item in the right order. And you get a failure message. But if you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you get 6 in the right order, you get a success message. Okay, I think that's correct. This is more of a combination puzzle. And the fact is, you've got to get the right subset of lenses. And each set has its own name. Okay. So in this one, you're giving me a set of items and a list of set message and then the answer set and a failure message and a success message. Is that right? Okay, so you're going to tell me red, green, clear, which we know it's focused. Okay, and then you're going to give me all these combinations of messages. So I don't really need a failure message. In general, I'm just going to I'm going to print the message that corresponds. And if you get them all right, if your set matches the answer set, I'm also going to say something that happens. I mean, I think in this case, the flame on the candle, a flame appears on the candle, and you've solved the puzzle. Now this one, oh boy. Part of the original game was you would guess the right puzzle, but then you had to kind of you had to explain your guess. And maybe I need the notion of that here. This is decorator, so you're putting these things around the main thing. So you're stacking stuff up like laser to color to focus. Okay. Can I unify these? Not really. I mean, I guess you're still giving me. Yeah, it's almost permutations versus combinations, right? I want a subset of items. I don't care about the order, and I want a list of items in order. Okay, and the error message is going to tell me how many are in the right position. And this one, we just find out what happens, and that's the way it goes. All right. We've done this before. Okay. As soon as I add ordering puzzle, stuff's going to break all over the place. No. And there's this theory in Elm, like you do this and you get it compiling and it's all going to work. Dylan Kearns wrote an article on this just a couple weeks ago, or a week or so ago. No, it doesn't really all perfectly work every time. But okay, so anyway, this is an ordering puzzle. And it's maybe an ordering puzzle, which doesn't exist. All right. And nobody knows how to create one, and this is going to be wrong, and oof. Well, we can say it's a nothing right before the exits. So it's our third nothing. All right. But ordering puzzle. All right. So let's make a new class. We only have a couple minutes, so we're not going to get very far here, but new L module ordering puzzle. Let's expose ordering puzzle. Okay. Who's complaining? Well, can't find the type. Well, that's interesting. Ordering puzzle. Now, this is going to be very similar to other puzzles. Sort of dialogue puzzle. Okay. This one, type A is dialogue puzzle. It's, well, let's steal this. It's a start. Okay. All right. Now, we said we would have a list of items. Okay. And I'm just going to make it a list of strings. All right. We would have an answer, which is a list, I think, of ints. If it's the permutation, and we would have a success message is a string and an error message. A string. And why are you not happy? Oops. Okay. Now, are we just lacking an import on room? Yeah. Import. Okay. Now, we're going to get other things failing, all right, because nobody knows how to create this. Good old game. All right. Now, I don't know. I went through this last time. All right. Answers puzzle. Let's go in game. Answers puzzle. Okay. So I'm going to have an optional, because it's a maybe, ordering puzzle. All right. And then somewhere there's hard coded. All right, so let's look at pipeline. Okay, it's got this hard coded thing. All right, and you can just put your own results. Now, I don't know what user is. Email followers. Okay. Apparently you don't need the name. Does not look at the JSON at all. Okay, so I'm gonna say hard-coded here. Instead of that, I'm just gonna say hard-coded think I can say nothing. Okay. Now, we're going to stop there. All right. Yeah, we got rooms to create and stuff like that. But it's 3 o'clock. So we'll pick up Sunday the 19th at 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time, US. And we'll get this thing put in. I think last time I did something where I did all the work to get the reading correct first. I think we'll just maybe play around with changing this hard-coded value and get some of the other stuff working first, just for trying out a different way and see what happens. But we definitely have some places where we create rooms, and yeah, we just edited this one, but we'll have to fix those up first. All right. Well, thanks again for joining, and I hope to catch you in the future. Take care. Bye-bye.